Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this morning's meeting of Nithsdale Divisional Licensing Board, commencing 10:30 a.m. on Thursday, the 23rd of February 2023. I can see that we are quorate this morning, and in attendance we do have Councillors Beretti, Campbell, Councillor Dorward, Jordan and Little. We do have apologies this morning from the convener, Councillor Hislop, so therefore we require from the outset to appoint a convener for this meeting, please. So we can appoint a convener, thank you. See Councillor Campbell's got his hand up.
I would like to nominate Councillor Little, please.
Thank you.
I knew that was going to happen. Apologies though, I would like to, but my Wi-Fi, my connection, and John will know that I have issues with this periodically within, and I'm afraid that if I'm halfway through doing something and it shuts down, it may be fine all the way through, but I'm worried in case it does and I'm not consistent. So if someone else, I would be happy. Thanks. Sorry for that.
Councillor Beretti, you've got your hand up.
Yes, I think the next person that I would like to is John Campbell.
And do we have a seconder for that?
I'm happy to second.
Me too, I'll third.
So, Councillor Campbell, you've been nominated convener for this morning's meeting. I'll hand over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Anyway, good morning, members, and welcome to the meeting of the Nithsdale Divisional Licensing Board. I'll just go through the good guidance. This meeting is being live streamed and recorded. Could I remind members to follow the good practice guidance, which includes muting your microphones and switching off their videos when you're not addressing the meeting. Should you wish to contribute to any item, you should write speak in the Teams chat function or raise your virtual hand, and you will be invited to speak in order. Should your question or issue be raised by a previous speaker, please withdraw your request so that we can deal with the business as efficiently as possible. So thank you for that. You've already went through the sediment. Should we just go through it again, Caroline, just for the record, or are you quite content, or members quite content to move on?
If you could just address item number 1, convener, that would be helpful just for the record. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So if you can do the sediment, apologies, please.
Sorry, I'm pressing on I'm trying to unmute myself and it's not working. Apologies this morning from convener Councillor Hislop. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Caroline. We'll move on to agenda item 2, which is declarations of interest. Do anyone have any declarations? I don't see anyone coming in. However, I would like to declare an interest on item 12. I received an email from an objector at the beginning of the year, and I think we all got it actually because it's making reference.
Convener, apologies for interjecting there. It's just to advise item number 12 has been withdrawn, so it's actually the major variation in respect of indulge, so that's not before yourselves for consideration. It's been withdrawn now.
Clarification. Yeah, apologies for that. So that's the case. No declarations of interest. We'll move on to agenda item 3, which is the minute of the meeting of 22nd of November 2022, and this is for approval. And we have approval for agenda item 3, the minutes.
I'm happy to approve.
Thank you.
I'm happy to agree.
Yeah, I'm getting thumbs up from others as well. So thank you, members. In that case, we'll now move on to agenda item 4, which is the Licensing Scotland Act 2005 applications for occasional licenses and extended hours granted under delegated authority report by the clerk of the board. Now, I don't know if you just want to go through all those, because I think these are just for noted, but happy just to pick them up individually if members are content. But happy to take questions Councillor Little?
Thanks, Chair. No, I think I'm happy to approve these ones, yes.
So we will take agenda item 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's it, is it? Yeah.
Yes, Chair.
So we're happy to note 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Noted, Chair.
Okay, thank you, members. In that case, we move on to agenda item 9, which is the application for a variation of premises licence at the Spa, 19 Castle Street, Sanka. The report by the clerk to the board. So, Caroline, do you want to take us through that item, please?
Thank you, Convener. I believe we have Caroline Loudon of TLT Solicitors appearing this morning, just to check that Ms Loudon is here.
Sorry, Caroline, it's not to me. It's Lynn Simpson today. Caroline's got tied up with something else.
No worries. Okay, so we've got Lynn Simpson. Good morning, Ms Simpson. So I will just read through the report, Convener. So it's an application for a major variation in respect of Spar at 19 Castle Street in Sangmar. You're asked to consider the application that was received on the 7th of December 2022. The details of the application may be found at Appendix 1 of the report. The application has been notified to our usual statutory consultees. The display dates for the site notice and the web notice were Friday the 16th of December 2022 to Saturday the 7th of January 2023. Signed confirmation of site notice has been received. The last date for objections and representations was Friday the 6th of January 2023. The LSO report detailed at Appendix 2 advises no adverse comments, and there's no other adverse comments or any objections in relation to the application. So in terms of procedure, Convener, I would suggest you just may wish to hear from the police any questions, then the LSO with questions, then allow Ms Simpson to speak to the application on behalf of our clients. Any questions, and then after allow Ms Simpson to sum up on behalf of our clients before going into session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Caroline. So have we got somebody from the police with us today?
Morning, Convener. Yeah, Sergeant Caroline Crozier.
Good morning,
there was
Sergeant.
No adverse. Morning. Well, there was no adverse comments for us for this application.
Thank you very much. Do we open it up to questions to our Sergeant? Caroline, is that correct?
As the police have no adverse comments, I would suggest that you just may wish to hear from the LSO now, Convener.
Okay,
thank you.
Thanks very much, Caroline. So over to you then. Is it Emma?
It is. Good morning, Convener.
Good morning, Emma.
So, as you'll note from my report, I also have no adverse comments in relation to this application.
Okay, thank you very much. So we'll now move on to Lynn. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honours.
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, perfect. Sorry, too many buzzers going off at the same time. I think you'll actually be fairly familiar with the changes that we are looking to make to this store today. I think my colleagues have addressed you on very similar applications. This is part of the estate-wide review that we've undertaken for CJ Lang to make sure that all of their premises licences are up to date and reflect what they want to do with the stores. So I'll just quickly take you through the changes that are being made. Again, happy to take any questions. So we're adding gaming to the operating plan purely to cover the national lottery aspect. We're amending wording at question 5 of the operating plan, again to standardise this wording across the estate, and that wording really just says that the premises may be open for general trade prior to the commencement of licence hours. Recorded music may be played, which is usually Spar radio, prior to the commencement of core hours. This is background level only, and national lottery tickets and cards can be purchased prior to core hours. We've also amended the description of what goes on in the store. The operating plan for this licence currently has a huge amount of information, some of which is quite unnecessary. So we've simplified that just to give a description of the various items that the premises sells and the services that it offers as a convenience store. The one addition is for click and collect and home deliveries. Again, I think my colleagues have taken you through the delivery policy and how those work, but if that's something you'd like me to do, I'm happy to do that. And then the last change, we are changing the layout plan to reconfigure the store, and that very slightly reconfigure it, and that results in a small increase in capacity of 1.89 metres squared. So we're going from 16.1 metres squared to 17.99 metres squared. And again, this is just the reason for the increase is actually the cabinets have changed, they've been upgraded, and the dimensions are slightly different. And other than that, unless you have any questions, I would just ask you to grant the application.
Thanks very much for your presentation. Yeah, that was going to be my question, is what was the previous square meterage, but you've covered that point. So I'll open it up to members. Any questions? Don't see any hands coming up. Oh, Councillor Beretti.
Sorry, delaying clicking buttons, Chair. Yeah, I'm familiar with the store, not been inside it, but I'm just reading. Do you already do some of these activities, the lottery and various things?
Yes, so the vast majority of things are things that the store already did. So as part of the review, we're just trying to make sure that the premises licenses are all standardised in as much as that is possible for each store across the state. It just makes the management a bit easier. So the only things that are new are the click and collect and the home deliveries.
I think that answers my question, Chair. Thanks.
Thanks very much. Are there any further questions? Don't see any hands up. Okay, members, we'll go into session. Are we happy to approve this application? Councillor Little?
Happy to grant, convener.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Councillor Jordan?
Sorry, Chair, jumping in before you asked me to. Yeah, I'm happy to agree as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Beretti, is that a legacy hand, or are you want to confirm your agreement?
It was a legacy hand, but I've turned it into an actual hand now. Yeah, happy to agree with this, Chair.
Okay, that seems to be kind of unanimous so far. So, Caroline, do you just want to remind members what the decision was? Thank you.
Okay, just prior to confirming, so that's a unanimous decision to grant the application, convener. Thank you
very much.
So, Ms Simpson, the application has been granted and you'll be notified in early course. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You,
thank you, Lynn, for your presentation. Thank you. Now, members, we'll move on to agenda item 10. This is an application for new premises licence at Marmaris Takeaway, 20 White Sands, Dumfries. Do you want to take us through the report, Caroline, please?
Yes, thank you, convener. I believe that we have, just checking that you've got written submissions before yourselves that were submitted by the agent. And do we have Catherine Wilson, solicitor, here this morning to speak to the application, and also Izette Sengen?
Yeah. Yes, good morning. I'm here to answer any questions that may arise.
So we've got Catherine Wilson. Miss Wilson, can I just ask, do you have your client with you this morning?
I do, yes. He's with me in the room here.
Okay, so we have Catherine Wilson to speak to the application, who has also submitted written submissions that you should have before yourselves this morning, and also the applicant, Miss Wilson's agent, Miss Wilson's client, Izette Sengen. So members, this is an application for a new premises licence in respect of Marmaris Takeaway at the White Sands in Dumfries. The application was received on the 8th of December 2022, and it's detailed at Appendix 1 to the report. I can confirm that we've gone through the statutory notification process, and satisfactory Section 50 certificates for planning, building standards and food hygiene have been received, and as well as the disabled access and facilities statement. The application has been advertised in accordance with statutory requirements for the full 21-day periods. From Friday the 16th of December 2022 to Saturday the 7th of January 2023. Signed confirmation of side notice has also been received. The last date for objections or representations was Friday the 6th of January 2023, and no objections have been received in respect of the application. The LSO report, members, is detailed at Appendix 2 to this report, advising no adverse comments, and the Police Scotland also have submitted a clear report. So in terms of procedure, convener, you may just wish to hear from the police if there's any questions, the LSO if there's any questions, and then allow Ms Wilson to speak on behalf of the application, and then any questions from yourselves, then allow Ms Wilson the opportunity to sum up on behalf of her client prior to going into session. Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. So, Sergeant, do you have any police report on this?
No adverse comments again for this application from ourselves.
Thank you very much. Emma, over to you for your report.
Hi, again, no adverse comments from me.
Thank you very much. So it's over to you, Catherine. Do you want to take us through the application?
Yes, thank you. Well, hopefully you've had an opportunity to read the written representations, and I don't propose to go through them in any detail because they are quite lengthy. The situation is that Marmaris has been operating since 2017 successfully as a hot food takeaway and home delivery service, serving pizzas, burgers, kebabs, and also soft drinks. The off-sales licence applied for to include the opportunity to extend the range of beverages and offer to include alcoholic beverages. The reasons for that are all outlined in the written representations. I would be happy to answer any questions arising.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Any members got any questions? Don't see any hands coming up. So, Catherine, do you want to just sum up, please?
In summary, I would recommend the application to you. There's been no adverse comments by Police Scotland or by the Licensing Standards Officer, and I simply recommend the application.
Thank you very much, Catherine. So, members, we're in session. Councillor Little and then Councillor Beretti. Councillor Little, please.
Thank you, Convener. My understanding in the current economic climate, businesses are being required to diversify to survive. So I'm happy to grant this.
Thank you very much, Councillor Beretti.
Thank you, Chair. Likewise, same thinking as Councillor Little, but just a quick clarity on point 5.3 of 38. Having regard to licensing objectives, that the applicant is not a fit and proper person but to hold a premises licence. If we've just had a police report that says there's no negativity, and from the LSO there's no negativity, why is that in there?
Where are we, Tony?
I hope I'm on the right page. 38.
So if I can just answer there. So basically, on the report, Councillor Beretti, paragraph 5.3, we just put down the statutory grounds of refusal. So that one has no kind of like elevated hierarchical status over any other ground of refusal, but we do can put in the reports the statutory grounds of refusal. Does that assist?
Yeah, I think so. It's just my still trying to learn all of these little technical things, and that's why John is chair.
Thanks, Tony. Yes, it's a learning curve for us all, but thanks for your question anyway. So, Councillor Dorward.
Thanks, Chair. Again, like Councillor Little, Councillor Beretti, no objections, no issues with this, but just to say, really benefited from the written submission. I'm really pleased to see that Mr. Sengun has looked very hard at how you can keep within the proper licensing law parameters. That was extremely impressive, and has contributed a great deal to my decision making. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much. No, that's a good point. They certainly looked into other premises in a similar sort of situation. So I'm content with this report. So are members in agreement to grant the licence? I take it we are.
Yes.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Okay, Caroline, so could you just remind the members, the board, what the decision was? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Convener. Prior to confirming to Ms Wilson, you've just agreed that you're going to grant the application for this new premises licence. So, Ms Wilson, your client's application has been granted by the board today, and you will be notified in writing of this in early course with the premises licence sent to him. Thank you.
Thank you, I'm obliged. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Catherine. So, members, we now move on to agenda item 11. This is an application for a major variation, the premises Thornhill Golf Club. Caroline, do you want to take us through the report, please?
Yes, thank you, Convener. Can I just check? I believe we have Anne Murphy present with us this morning. Ms Murphy, are you present and can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you clearly, Caroline.
Thank you. So, members, this is an application for a major variation in respect of Thornhill Golf Club at Blackness and Thornhill. The premises licence holder is Thornhill Golf Club. The application was received on the 4th of January 2023 and it's detailed at Appendix 1 to the report. We've gone through the statutory notification process. The dates of display for the site notice and the website notice was a full 21-day period from Friday the 13th of January to Saturday the 4th of February 2023. Contrary to what is detailed at paragraph 2.5 of the report, where it says there's no signed confirmation of site notice received, I can confirm that it has now indeed been received. The last date for objections and representations was Friday the 3rd of February 2023, and no objections have been received to this application. The LSO report is detailed at Appendix 2, advising no adverse comments, and Police Scotland have advised no adverse comments. So, Convener, in terms of suggested procedure, you may wish us to hear from the police with any questions, and then the LSO with any questions, and then Miss Murphy on behalf of the club, and then any questions from yourselves. Allow Miss Murphy the opportunity then to sum up her position prior to going into session. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Caroline. So, Sergeant, have you anything on this report?
Again, nothing for ourselves on this one. There was a clear report.
Thank you very much. Over to you, Emma, for your report.
Also, no adverse comments from me.
Thank you. So, Anne, good morning. So,
good morning. Good morning.
Do you want to take us through your application, please?
As a new secretary to the club, I will hopefully get this correct for you. Basically, the application is that there are new caterers at Thornhill Golf Club, of which they wish to basically extend the hours that are there at present. And obviously there was an outdoor facility during COVID, of which the police have been round with myself and checked that they're happy with the usage of this, but it's mainly in the golf club itself that they're asking for an extension. Point 3, it increased the hours from 11 p.m. Monday to Sunday 12 p.m. So it's really just to facilitate a better catering facility for the members. Other than that, there's actually no changes that from the previous licence.
Thank you very much. Do any members got any questions? Don't see any hands coming up. So
that's good.
Do you want to sum up, Anne, please?
So just sum up from what, because I'm new to this, I'm sorry. So yeah, in summary, it would be an extension to the original hours set to increase the catering facilities at Thornhill Golf Club.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Members, we're now in session, so any points, I'll be happy to, I see Councillor Barretti's got his hand up.
Thank you, Chair. I don't have any objections because I know that golf clubs are usually the hubs of social life, and I don't see any reason not to grant it.
Okay, thank you. I don't see anybody coming in on the contrary. Councillor Little?
No panic, Anne, I'm not in the contrary. I just wanted to say I'm happy to grant. I don't have any objections to this, so happy to grant, convener.
Thank you very much. It looks like it could be another unanimous. Caroline, do you want to just take us through what the decision was?
Thank you, convener. So just confirming with yourselves prior to confirming with Ms Murphy that you've agreed unanimously to grant the application. Okay, so Ms Murphy, you've just heard from the board and they have agreed unanimously to grant your application in its entirety. So you will be notified of that decision in early course with an amended licence sent to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Caroline. Members, item 12 has obviously been withdrawn, so we'll go to item 13, which is Section 28, premises cease to be used for the sale of alcohol, premises Elmer Glen, 11 West Morton Street, Thornhill. Caroline, do you want to just take us through that report, please?
Yes, of course, convener. Thank you. Can I just firstly check that we do not have the licence holder, David Clotart, from Elmer Glen Hotel with us this morning? If I don't hear any kind of positive, I'll take it that he is not with us today. So yes, indeed, this is in relation to the premises ceasing to be used for the sale of alcohol. You're asked to determine whether indeed, based on the information before you, whether you're of the view that the premises have ceased to be used for the sale of alcohol. If you're of that view, the consequence is that the premises licence has ceased to have effect, which means it's void. There is no licence in law. We've also, in relation to these premises, we've had issues in relation to non-payment of the annual fees, which you're aware is a statutory requirement. It's a mandatory condition of the licence that the annual fees are paid. We've got 2 years outstanding annual fees due from the years 2021 into 2022, and from 2022 into 2023 being a total of £440. Now, with regard to the outstanding fees, the correspondence that the licensing service has had with the licence holder is detailed at Appendix 1, 2, 3, Appendix 4, and also Appendix 5, the LSO report, has also detailed pictures that have been taken at the premises. So what I would suggest to yourselves is that you hear from the LSO, read to her report and also speak to the pictures that she's taken at the premises and make a decision as whether, based on the information before you, you're of the view that the premises have indeed ceased to be used for the sale of alcohol. You'll note all the correspondence has been sent to the licence holder. It is the correct address on our system, and we've received no response from the licence holder, and there's 2 years outstanding annual fees due on these premises. Thank you.
Thanks, Caroline. So it's over to you then, Emma, again.
Thank you, convener. So as you'll see from my report, the first visit was undertaken on the 18th of November 2022, and that is actually the first picture that has been submitted for your attention. You'll note that the signage was still on the property at that time. Although the windows were blanked out, there was clear work being undertaken with a skip out the front of the property. I followed that up again with a visit on the 23rd of January, and that is the second picture that's been submitted. You'll see there's been a clear progression on the property with a change of front door. There's been significant work undertaken inside. I was actually able to speak with the new owners during my visit on the 23rd of January, who were able to confirm that they are in the process of submitting to the council for a change of use. They are using the premises as a dwelling house, have no intention of seeking to sell alcohol from the premises, and it's very much their home, which is what they're converting it to at the moment.
Thank you very much, Emma. Any members got any questions? Councillor Little.
Thank you, convener. Hi, Emma. Thanks for that update. Do we have a forwarding address? Do we have any other address for the original licence holder apart from the hotel premises itself?
No, we don't. We've got all correspondence has been issued to the Elmer Glen, 11 West Morton Street. There's clearly been no forwarding address from there, and there's never been any response from correspondence sent in relation to outstanding annual fees.
I think we can write those off. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to find Mr. Coulthart, but no, thanks for that.
Thanks, Tracy. Councillor Beretti. Tony.
Yes, thanks, Chair. It's not quite the same as Councillor Little, but I'm assuming that when you went in or to the premises, did you ask who was the name of the people who were doing the alterations?
Sorry, Councillor Beretti, do you mean the names of the new owners?
Well, you're hinting that there's new owners.
There is new owners, yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fine, because I know this building quite well. Community Council is only about 20 metres away from it, so I've had to go past that quite a few times, Chair. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. My understanding is that the process of recovering money that will come under a different sort of setup. I mean, all we're asked to is to determine today that this premises is no longer a licensed premise. I'll just get confirmation from Caroline just on that point. Thanks.
Thanks, convener. Yes, so you've been asked to consider, based on the material before you, having heard from Emma, our LSO there, whether the premises have ceased to be used for the sale of alcohol. And if you're minded that they have ceased to be used for the sale of alcohol, then the premises licence ceases to have effect, which means it's gone and it no longer exists. So if anybody wanted to come along into the premises and start a new licensed premises, they would have to make an application for a new premises licence. In relation to queries about the outstanding annual fees for £440, my own thoughts are they probably would be written off. It would probably cost more or about the same to actually attempt to chase. And given that we don't have any other address on our system for the licence holder, my thoughts are it probably would be a waste of time. Thank you.
Thanks, Caroline. So we can go into session then, I take it then, if there's no other reports on this item. Is that correct?
Convener, unless Emma wishes to sum up or has anything else to add, then you can indeed go into session.
I've got a couple of hands up, so I'll take those first and then I'll ask Emma to sum up. So Councillor Jordan and then Councillor Beretti.
Sorry, I was just a bit on the quick there, ready to go into session, so no questions. Sorry.
No worries. Okay,
Thank
you for that. Councillor Beretti.
Likewise, that was a bit quick.
Okay, so in anticipation of us going into session, we're now in session, members. Emma.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not that. It's terrible there's two of us called Emma. Sorry, I keep on thinking you're asking me to speak. So sorry, Emma.
No, my apologies. I should ask the officer to sum up. So the other Emma, please. And then we'll go into session.
No problem. So in summary, I'm confident that the property has changed use and is no longer being used for the sale of alcohol. It's very much being lived in as a dwelling house, and the new owners are keen to pursue that through the appropriate channels for the change of use.
Thank you very much. Now, Councillor Jordan, Emma, we're now in session.
Thank you ever so much. Yeah, I'm happy to go along with the officer recommendations for the cessation of this licence.
Thank you very much. Councillor Beretti.
Thank you, Chair. Likewise, fortunately, this is one of the places that I've asked locals about, and they said that the hotel or licence hadn't been used for several years, and likewise, I would say yes, remove the licence.
Okay, it sounds like members are satisfied. Are there an alternative view? Don't see any hands up. Looks like it's unanimous again. Caroline, you just want to remind the board what the decision was?
Yes, thank you, convener. So you've made a unanimous decision that the premises have ceased to be used for the sale of alcohol, and therefore the premises licence has ceased to have effect. Based on the testimony from Emma, our LSO, that she's confident that the property is not being used for the sale of alcohol. It's been lived in as a dwelling house. Change of use application, she understands, has been submitted. We've got outstanding annual fees due for 2 years that these have not been paid, and lots of correspondence has indeed been sent to the licence holder. We only have one address on our system. And we've received no response from the licence holder. So the premises licence has ceased to have effect, and we will notify that decision to the licence holder at that hotel, because that's the only address that we have on our system, convener. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Caroline. We now move on to agenda item 14. This is section 84A, conduct inconsistent with the licensing objectives. Caroline, would you like to take us through that report, please?
Thank you, convener. I just want to firstly check, is Lucy Forteith present with us this morning? I do understand that she's not made any response to the letters that have been sent to her, but I just want to check, because it's always within her right to turn up at the last minute. So Lucy Forteith is not present with us this morning. I'll go through the report if I'm. Yes, I can see Councillor Little's got her hand up there.
Little. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting, Caroline. I was just wondering, considering the sensitivities of the information and the discussions that are required, is there a possibility that we could do this one in private?
Legally, the answer is no. Currently, licensing board meetings all must be held in public. Councillor Little, unfortunately.
Okay, could we do, when we go into session, could we do that in private then?
Yes, absolutely.
Right, okay then. I understand the legalities, I'm still concerned that the sensitivities surrounding the information with this one is, being public is a bit not comfortable with, but I understand. But thanks very much for considering.
Yeah, thanks, Tracy. I do believe we've got another Teams invite that we can jump into if we need to. So we're out of the public domain while we're in session, if that's appropriate. It looks like it is.
No, happy with that, Councillor Campbell. Yes, convener.
Yeah, and that won't be recorded or live streamed, so we can jump into the other Teams, have a discussion, then we can jump back in here for the public part of it at the end. Sorry, Caroline. Apologies.
Thank you, convener. I'll just go through the report. So on the 7th of October 2022, the Chief Constable, in terms of his power under Section 84A of the Licensing Scotland Act 2005, submitted to the board a report alleging that Lucy Forteith, who's the holder of a personal licence, has acted in a manner that's inconsistent with the licensing objectives of preventing crime and disorder, securing public safety and preventing public nuisance. That police report, members, is detailed at the appendix to this report. You'll recall that this matter did call before yourselves on the 22nd of November 2022. Ms Forteith was not in attendance at that hearing, and you decided to defer consideration of the matter to the next scheduled hearing to allow more contact to be made with Ms Forteith in terms of natural justice, encouraging her to attend, to put forward her views. Since that hearing on the 22nd of November 2022, the licensing team has made attempts to contact Ms Forteith. The letter and the notice of today's hearing were sent to Ms Forteith by email on the 25th of November 2022, and also via first class post on the 28th of November 2022. And the same letter and notice of hearing was again sent to Ms Forteith by email and first class post on the 26th of January 2023. And Ms Forteith, I understand, has not responded to those letters. So as a preliminary point, you may wish to consider whether you do wish to hear this matter in Ms Forteith's absence. It is open to you to defer again. There is no statutory timeline in which you must hold a Section 84A hearing. We do have the police with us to speak to the terms of their report. So whether to make that consideration as a preliminary point, do you wish to hear this item in Ms Forteith's absence or defer to a future date to notify her and see if she wishes to attend?
Thank you very much, Caroline. So it's open to members. How do you want to proceed with this particular item? You know, we already deferred it once to this hearing, so we may be in the same situation. However, it's not my decision, it will be the board's decision. So I've got Councillor Little and then Councillor Jordan. So Tracy first.
Thanks, convener. Yes, it's just unfortunate that Ms Forteith has not made any contact. We gave that extra time, and I think it was right that we did that at the time. But I get the feeling that there's going to be no response again, and we're just holding back the inevitable. So I would be comfortable if we consider this item today.
Thank you, Tracy. Emma?
Is that me? Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree, Chair. I agree with Councillor Little that it's unfortunate, but I think that we need to proceed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Councillor Barretti.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Likewise, I was on that particular board meeting at the time and agree with the previous two comments made by the councillors that we should do it today.
Okay, it seems as if the board wants to continue with this, Caroline.
Thank you, convener. So in terms of procedure, you may just wish to hear from the police to speak to their report, and thereafter questions from yourselves. Thereafter allow the police the opportunity to sum up their position prior to going into session, and you can go into session and deliberate in private if that is what you wish to do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So it's over to you, Sergeant, for the police report. Thank you.
Thank you, convener. The Chief Constable hereby reports to the Licensing Board under the terms of Section 84A has discussed that Lucy Forteith has acted in a manner which is inconsistent with the licensing objectives, which were for preventing crime and disorder, securing public safety and preventing public nuisance. Lucy Forteith was granted her personal liquor licence by this board on the 26th of August 2022. On the 11th of July 2022, Police Scotland had submitted an objection to the application due to relevant previous offences that she had. However, she was granted her licence and has since then been coming to the attention of police on a number of occasions. So on Thursday, the 22nd of September, about 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:18 in the morning, NHS contacted Police Scotland in relation to Lucy Forteith, who was having concerning thoughts, about keeping herself safe. This was brought about due to a close relative having relationship problems. Lucy had thoughts of being violent to a person, possible thoughts of ending her own life at that time. She was traced driving a car by police and she was stopped, at which point she informed officers that she'd been angry with what had happened in relation to the close relative. However, at that time, she made no mention of harming herself, and she said that she'd already contacted the CATS, which is the Crisis Assessment and Treatment Services team, about how she'd felt. Police provided her with a further consultation with the CATS team at that time, and she was given suitable advice. On the 5th of October, at 13:20 hours in the afternoon, Lucy Forteith's mother then contacted Police Scotland with concerns about Lucy. She intimated that Lucy had recently went missing and had been traced in London and had been detained there under the Mental Health Act. She was thereafter transferred to Mid Park Hospital in Dumfries on the 3rd of October. Lucy's mother summarised that Lucy had discharged herself from the hospital as she had since received a telephone call from bar staff at the Hole in the Wall premises, licensed premises, which is Lucy's place of work. They had advised her mother that Lucy had attended there earlier in the day but had been refused service due to her being heavily under the influence of alcohol. She had left the premises stating that she was heading to the railway station with the intention of travelling back to Manchester to visit a relative. Lucy's mother was concerned due to the fact that they have no relatives residing in Manchester at the time, and when she had spoken to her daughter the previous evening, Lucy had expressed suicidal thoughts. Whilst on the call to the police, Lucy's mother terminated it suddenly due to Lucy trying to call her. It was later established by police that Lucy had attended at her mother's home address and was again found to be heavily under the influence of alcohol, but at that time intimated she had no intentions of harming herself. Lucy did disclose to her mother that she was in a low mood, however, and had been gambling heavily on online slot machines. We can't establish or state whether Miss Forteith has an addiction to gambling. However, she does work in a licensed premises environment, which could be construed to having a detrimental effect on her health and well-being. At that time, she was left in the care of her mother to ensure her own safeguarding. And there was various adult support mechanisms with the NHS and local authority to minimise any risk posed to her and to provide her with relevant support. This is not only a mental health issue, but appears to be alcohol related to the extent that her colleagues and peers have refused to serve her in her own working environment. On the 7th of October, a call was received from NHS advising that they were attending to Loch Ettrick following a call from Lucy Forteith, who stated at that time she was in her vehicle at the car park and had suicidal thoughts. Police attended and traced Miss Forteith within her motor car, parked about 5 metres away from a 6-foot drop into the loch. Officers tried to engage with her and were able to enter the vehicle, at which point Lucy Forteith has released the handbrake of the vehicle, locking her arm down on the handbrake, preventing officers from trying to put the handbrake back on, and this in turn caused the vehicle to start rolling towards the edge of the 6-foot drop into the water. There was a small struggle within the vehicle with Miss Forteith in order to release her grasp from the handbrake, with them having to forcibly drag her from the vehicle and apply the handbrake just in time prior to the vehicle going over the 6-foot drop and into the loch. She was subsequently arrested for a culpable and reckless conduct, and she was checked over by ambulance staff. She was again offered a consultation with the CATS assessment team, however refused, and again would not refuse to engage with them or officers. That case is currently outstanding at court. Of the incidents mentioned, this latest incident could have ended in a very different manner had it not been for the attending officer's quick reaction, but it does throw serious concern regarding Miss Forteith's ability to cope with the level of responsibility required of the holder of a personal licence. It is Police Scotland's position that the circumstances that I've detailed show that Miss Forteith is currently not a fit and proper person to hold a personal licence. Police Scotland is committed to maximising the safety of our communities and minimising risk to our officers. On this occasion, the actions of Miss Forteith have placed 2 officers at significant risk of injury or harm, the potential result of which may have resulted in a detrimental effect on the services provided to other members of the community as well as to those involved. It's the Chief Constable's view that the board should consider all the options open to them under section 84.7 and 84.7A of the Act. For your consideration, Convener.
Thanks very much, Sergeant. Do any members got any questions? Councillor Beretti.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yes, I believe that's the same report that we heard back in November. Sergeant, has there been any other reports since November in the last 3 months of this young lady?
No, Councillor, we've nothing recorded since October.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Beretti. Councillor Little.
Thank you, Convener, and thank you, Sergeant, for that summing up the report. Have there been any incidents with Miss Forteith while she's been conducting her duties in connection with the liquor licence she holds, while she's actually been working on her job? Because everything that you've described so far has been out with her working hours. Has there been anything that's happened while she's been undertaking her duties?
There's no specific correlation between the incidents at the licensed premises to her being on duty. Unfortunately, that's not information that's recorded in terms of the incident unless it specifically involved that individual, but there's nothing that's come to my attention in that period.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Thanks, Councillor Little. Any other questions to the Sergeant? Don't see any hands coming up. Would you like to sum up, Sergeant, please?
Thanks, Convener. So, as stated, Police Scotland have grave concerns on Miss Fertique's ability to cope with the level of responsibility required by the holder of a personal licence. There's a responsibility to secure public safety, and that includes that of the licence holder. She's disclosed low mood and gambling on online slot machines, which both have a detrimental effect on her health and well-being. She's been dealt with on a number of occasions and on each time has been found to be heavily under the influence of alcohol. So in terms of public safety and preventing crime and disorder objectives of this board, suggest that those had been failed. The October incident itself, she's attempted to drive her vehicle over a 6-foot drop into a loch, not only at her own risk, but that of officers. We appreciate that the board's been minded to give opportunity previously to Miss Fertique with her mental health issues and to give her every positive opportunity. However, this is now extended into a criminal matter, which is a detrimental effect, as I say, on hers and on others. And in terms of the assistance that she's been offered, she's subsequently started to decline that mental health assessment with CATS teams on her last involvement with the police. Thanks, Convener.
Thanks very much, Sergeant. Caroline, I think it might be appropriate for us to jump into the next Teams invite when we go into session. Who's actually coming into that Teams apart from the board members?
Just the board members, Convener, and myself into session.
Okay, and everybody else will just remain on this particular Teams invite and we'll come back in after we've had our deliberations.
That's correct, Convener, yes.
Thank you. So if members wish to leave this Teams, and we'll join the additional Teams invite and we'll go into session. Thank you, members.
Okay.
Thank you. Councillor Campbell, here.
Yep.
Councillor Jordan.
Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you. Councillor Dorward.
Yep.
And Councillor Little.
Yep, I'm here.
So we're all here. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Caroline. So, members, we're still in session. Does anyone want to kick off? Tracy, I see your hands up.
Thank you, convener. As I asked the sergeant if any of the incidents happened while Miss Verteeth was undertaking her duties as a licence holder, I don't see anything in any of the papers that any of the reports from the police that suggest that this has ever been the case. So I'm not sure that we have within our remit we have any case here to revoke. That's just my personal opinion. I think that yeah. That's basically it. There is nothing in those papers that tells me that anything was undertaken, and I asked the police the question as well, and nothing was happened while Miss Verteeth was undertaking her duties while being a licence holder.
Thank you, Councillor Little. Yes, it's as tragic as it is for Miss Verteeth. However, we're not here as a mental health tribunal or anything like that. None of us are experienced in that. In relation to the police report, myself, I can't see anything in there that was relating to the actual licence that Miss Verteeth holds. I see other hands are coming in. Councillor Dorward.
Thanks, Chair. Basis for deliberation from my perspective is a personal licence issued by the licensing board, which authorises the licence holder to supervise or authorise the sale of alcohol. And that's fairly straightforward and fairly clear from my perspective. And there's nothing in the police reports that link the sale of alcohol from licensed premises to the individual's behaviour at that point. So from that perspective, there's no correlation there. The reports are extremely tragic, very unfortunate if that's the case. But in terms of the actual basis for issuing a licence, there's been nothing to evidence that that's been breached. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks very much, Linda. Councillor Beretti. Tony?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Likewise, as has been mentioned by the other two councillors and yourself, I don't see anything in the police report that indicates that we should take an action that revokes. I rather would not go through all of the exact words that Councillor Dorward said, but I endorse what Councillor Dorward said wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Jordan.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I'm in agreement with my colleagues. I think that there's no evidence from the police to suggest that there have been any concerns around the licence holder and operating the licence there. So I'm in agreement with my fellow councillors.
Thank you very much. Caroline, do you wish to sum up what the board's decision was?
So, convener, beg your pardon, you've not yet made a decision. You've just kind of, so if you wish to make a decision.
I just cottoned onto that. It's just when you come in, Caroline. Yes. So I take it that members wish to make a decision not to take any action because of there's no evidence in the police report which relates to the licensing. It might not be the right form of words, Caroline, but maybe you can assist on that. I don't see any dissent.
So, convener,
sorry.
So, convener, so whatever decision you make, it's important to give reasons for that decision. I cannot obviously give reasons for you because I'm not an elected member. I've just heard from yourselves. do you want to state have you decided what decision you've come to? You've got 4 options here. You can revoke the licence, you can suspend it for a maximum 6-month period, you can endorse the licence, or you can take no action. And it's very important in terms of the law that any decision that you take is underpinned with reasons for Miss Verteeth and reasons also for Police Scotland.
Yeah, thanks, Caroline. I've got Councillor Dorward and then Councillor Beretti. So, Linda.
Thanks, Chair. From my perspective, I would suggest that no action is taken in this case because there is no evidence that the licence conditions as outlined in the report have been breached by the individual. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Dorward. Councillor Beretti.
Yes, Chair, I would also endorse take no action for exactly the same reasons as been mentioned by Councillor Dorward.
Thank you. Don't see anyone else wishing to come in. So I would suggest that maybe the form of words would be that there's no evidence in the police report relating to the licensing, so no action should be taken. Caroline.
Thank you, Convener. So just before I confirm that decision, is it the case that the board is deciding to take no action because there's no evidence in the police report relating to the sale of alcohol from licensed premises?
Yes, Caroline.
Thank you, Convener. So the decision taken by today's board, Ms Verteeth obviously is not present, Police Scotland representative is that the board has decided to take no action in relation to this matter because they're of the mind that there is no evidence in the police report that relates to the sale of alcohol from licensed premises. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we now move on to agenda item 15. This is the Chief Constable's annual report for 2021-2022. And who's given this report, Caroline? Will it be the Sergeant?
Yes, indeed, Convener. So this is just the Chief Constable's annual report. They've got a statutory obligation to prepare. And it is before yourselves and detailed at the appendix. Without reading through the report, it is basically just for no time you're asked to receive the report and note its terms. But of course, we do have Police Scotland representative here today. So I would suggest in terms of procedure, if it's agreeable to you all, that the police may wish to speak to their report and you can ask questions in relation to the terms of that report and then just confirm whether you're happy to receive it and note its terms. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Caroline. Sergeant, do you want to give us your spiel on the report, please?
I must apologise, Convener. I was about to dip out. I have another meeting at 12, so
okay.
I haven't prepared anything specifically for the report. Apologies, I was under the impression that it was one that was just for review. I can go through it very quickly, but it'll pretty much just be reading through what you've got in terms of some highlights, or if you're happy to go.
Yeah, I'm sure all the members have probably read the report anyway. I certainly have. So are you open to questions on it? Or
I can try.
Got time for that?
Yeah, I can try.
Okay, so I'll open it up to members' questions on the police report. Councillor Little.
Thank you, Convener. I don't have any questions. I'm just happy to move that we agree to note this report.
Thank you very much. Oh, I'm getting thumbs up as well, Caroline, so it's your lucky day. Thanks, Sergeant.
It is, thank you.
Okay, so the decision was that we've noted that. Caroline, do you just want to remind the board what that decision was?
Okay, thank you. So you've been asked to just receive the report and note its terms, and as you've said, that is the decision for the board. So the report has been received and noted. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Caroline. I don't have any other urgent business, so thank you for your attendance, everyone. I think the next meeting, according to this, is the 11th of May. So hopefully we'll see you all at that next meeting. So thanks everyone for joining today, and if you're travelling, safe journey home.